Okay? Every time we think about our best friend, we have positive feelings. We think about our loved one, our children. Okay, we have children, we have good relationship. Every time we think about our relationship with our children or the person that we love, and we think positively, then our affinity with that person is going to bear fruit as a positive fruit, and it is going to be a desirable outcome. Right? That's a simple understanding. On the other hand, if we think about a person, we think of it as negative. We have negative emotion or negative mental analysis of them, okay? Because our subconscious activate in our ego and in our emotion. Whenever we think of a person, and if we have negative feelings or negative thought about a person, then we are accumulating negativity with respect to that person. We may not have to meet them. In the previous discussion, we talked about doing things directly for the person, right? We do things for them. We cause them to feel happy. We cause them to suffer. That is our direct action to other people. But here, we're not even interacting with other person. We may just meet them one time, but that first time may be, let's say, having a negative experience, and we may never meet them again. But our memory, every time we think about that person, we feed it with negativity. Then our affinity with them will become more and more negative over time. And then at some point, when we, let's say in this lifetime, if we meet them again, we're going to be very negative again. In fact, it could be worse, because through our own process of accumulation and cultivation, we have grown that tree. Even though that person may have not done anything to us, we haven't seen them in years, but our own mind, our own ego, our own mental images, we have been creating mental images about that person that is in a negative direction. So when we happen to see that person again, oh, suddenly our affinity with that person is really negative. Our interaction, it's going to manifest in some negativity. Okay? That is within this lifetime. But what about the people that you have never met before, but suddenly when we first meet them, we have a certain affinity with them? Sometimes we just met the person at a party, and it feels like we have known them for a long time. We get along great. We talk, we share, we chat. We become best friends over a single conversation. Or for those of us who are fortunate to meet a spouse that we consider soulmate, match made in heaven, it feels like this person is right for us, even just a short amount of time. And then there's the other possibility. We meet somebody for the first time. Could be a party, could be at work. We have never interacted with them before, but just everything about them just makes our skin crawl. You just hate the person, or they hate you for no reason. Right? Have we all experienced that?
Yep.
Somehow our affinity with another person just starts out negative. They say we start out on the wrong foot. It just starts out negative or start out positive, even though we have had no interaction with them in the past, or in the past of this lifetime. So the only way to explain that affinity with another person when you first meet is to consider the possibility of having multiple lifetimes. That even though in this lifetime we have not met that person before, in our past lifetime, if we believe that there's a possible past lifetime, we must have cultivated some negative or positive affinity with that person. We may have had real interaction with another person in the past. And it is stored in our subconscious. Science has not been able to explain this because the science does not fully understand how the subconscious mind works. Right? The science can only say that we understand about 5% of our brain. But it seems that our mind reacts to a certain people with a certain direction, could be positive or negative, even before we get to know them or interact with them in this lifetime. And the explanation is that we did interact with them in the past lifetime. We may have had some negative interaction with them. Maybe we have caused them suffering, they have caused us suffering. Whatever the case, the affinity between us and them started out and have been accumulating and cultivated in our past lifetime. Mr. Will have been pouring either negative or positive energy in that affinity seed. So that now when we meet that person, we are reaping the fruit of that positive or negativity. Okay? That's the affinity seed. It explains why some people feel like soulmate and some people feel like nemesis and enemies, even though we haven't interacted with them.
Yeah.
Some people just feel like we have known each other since forever, because maybe you have known each other since forever. Or some people may feel like your arch enemy because maybe they have been your arch enemy in past lifetime. And for those of you who are still struggling with the idea of having multiple lifetimes, especially if we are Christian, we brought up Christian, we think only in one lifetime at a time. Consider the concept of purgatory in the Christian religion. Purgatory is said to be a place where we pay for our sin, and then we cultivate ourselves to become better person and more worthy of heaven. Right? What does it mean to pay for our sin? Is it not suffering? Is it not pain? Is it not undesirable circumstances? So if we believe in the law of causality, then we can extend that to past lifetime, and we say, well, it seems that this lifetime, I am experiencing pain and suffering as a result of my past misdeed, or I'm experiencing undesirable circumstances with respect to my affinity with another person. It is me paying the price for my past negative actions. And it is also an opportunity for me to plant new seed, to cultivate new trees, and to bear new fruit. And so purgatory is not a bad thing. This life being purgatory is a wonderful opportunity to pay for all of our crimes and plant new possibility of going to heaven. How else can God be fair in judging us according to our sins and our doing and make us worthy of heaven, if not through the law of causality? Right? So we can still believe in God, we can still believe in Jesus Christ as a savior, but we understand that Jesus is saving us by teaching us the truth about ourselves, the simple truth that we know what we know what we see, we know what we say and hear. And the moment that we recognize that truth within ourselves, we experience serenity. we actually stop causality. We stop feeding this seed with positive or negative. Right? As we do bad things, we are going to have to accept the consequences of our actions. We have to pay for our crime. But if we refuse to pay for our crime, it's kind of like being arrested by the police for our crime. We have one crime. Let's say we robbed the bank. Okay, we're gonna have to be. The police is chasing us, and instead of allowing the police to arrest us and paying for our crime of robbing the bank, we run away. And by the process of running away, we hurt other people. We cause accident. We run the red light, and so we stack up our sins on top of sin, sin. And we are going to continue to suffer undesirable circumstances. We are going to continue to pay for our crime until our crime is paid in full. But that Jesus and the Buddha has given us a way out by teaching us to recognize the truth within us, the simple truth, right? That whatever undesirable circumstances that we experiences, just receive it. Know that it is the outcome of causality. And so when we receive it, without letting the emotion and the ego get in the way, without blaming, without resentment, without taking on any negative charge, then causality is complete. The moment that we receive an undesirable outcome and we receive it fully, authentically, without planting new seed, because if we resent it or if we blame it or if we run away, then we're essentially planting new seed. And so our garden keeps on being planted with negative seed. But the moment that we just receive whatever outcome that we receive with serenity, then that punishment is done. There is no double jeopardy in causality. Just like in the legal system, you cannot punish a person twice for the same crime. Once they have paid for the crime, you cannot try them again for that crime. It's called no double jeopardy. Okay, double jeopardy, being jeopardized, being in trouble for more than once for the same crime. So it's the same thing. In causality, no double jeopardy in causality. And it is wonderful with this idea of no double jeopardy, and the moment that we are willingly, openingly welcome, our punishment, it is the moment that we will be released. Take the example in the Bible of the moment before Jesus died. On his left side, there is a criminal, and on his right side, there is also another criminal. Okay, they are both being punished for their crime. One criminal refused to accept his crime. He challenged God. He said, Jesus, come down from the cross and save yourself and save us too. He's challenging God, challenging causality. On the other hand, the criminal on the right side, he said, whoa, no, you and I, we deserve this punishment. He fully accepts and welcomes the punishment. And he said, Jesus, please take me to heaven. And Jesus said, yeah, today you will be with me in heaven. Why? Because that criminal who fully accepts the punishment, the moment he accepts the punishment, causality is complete. He did not plant any new seed. The totality of all the evil things that he's done has accumulated and bore fruit. And that fruit is him being punished for his crime on the cross, similar to the other criminal. But the moment of him accepting that punishment, his causality is complete. He's cleared of all his sin, just as long as he doesn't commit anymore. But if you refuse to accept your punishment, then the police will continue to chase you. Undesirable circumstances will continue to appear if we refuse to receive it. Okay? And as we run away from our punishment, we tend to create more crime. We tend to create more bad seed. Okay, that's more related to the previous discussion of good and evil. But in terms of affinity, okay, we understand that the seed of affinity with another person gets stored in our subconscious mind, our subconscious being, whatever it is. And it will manifest as an undesirable circumstances if we in the past have poured a lot of negativity on it through the process of cultivation. Every time we think about it negatively. But if we think about it positively, then through time, that affinity become positive. We may not see the person again. We may see them in another lifetime. But when we first meet them again in another lifetime, your interaction, your relationship with them will be very positive. That's the only way to explain why, and why, how come we meet another person and we have a positive or negative attraction to that person. Okay, it is because affinity has bore fruit. Okay, so there's the other seed, the seed of knowledge. Okay, seed of knowledge. Every time we learn something, we plant a seed of knowledge. And as we practice and as we build upon that knowledge, we cultivate that tree, that knowledge will bear fruit. It will become a tree and it will bear fruit. And we will reap the fruit of understanding about certain topic, okay, depending on what knowledge, what topic were planted. There have been cases of people, let's say they get struck by lightning or something like that. And then they wake up and they would be able to play a musical instrument like a professional virtuoso without not having learned it in this lifetime. Or scientists, like let's say Nikola Tesla, Einstein, they are able to somehow overnight came up with drastically new ideas about how the world and how the universe works, but they haven't actually learned it from anybody. They just kind of come out of thin air. Nikola Tesla is famous for having bouts of severe headache. And after bouts of severe headache, he would somehow come up with fascinating new scientific ideas. He didn't learn those ideas in school. He just kind of pulled them out of thin air. And the explanation for that is that in his past lifetime, he may have worked on those ideas already. It got stored in his subconscious, and somehow in one way or another, it was able to activate in this lifetime. Okay. And so that is how the subconscious works. Every time we think about something, we cultivate it, we add energy to it. And If we think about something and we don't feed any energy to it, then it just kind of stay there. We planted the seed, but it will never grow into a tree if we don't cultivate it, if we don't pour negative or positive energy into it. It just kind of stay there. Every time we interact with a person, every time we learn something, it gets planted into our garden of the subconscious, and it just kind of stay there. It will only bear fruit when we cultivate it, when we think about it. Yeah. And then later on, when we go to the part about wisdom, you will learn how to open the sort of like the gateway to knowledge that we have not accumulated in this lifetime. When we reach a state of serenity, just a little sneak peek, when a person reaches a state of serenity, okay, there is a higher chance for us to activate knowledge that we have accumulated in past lifetime. And when we accumulate intellectual merit, which is the spiritual energy relating to knowledge and wisdom, we are planting, we are feeding energy into the seed of knowledge. That is why this material for some people comes more easily than others. It is possible that in their past lifetime, they have cultivated the seed of knowledge by learning about it and by sharing and helping other people raise their level of awareness. And so it comes more easily to them. It activate their tree, which have started to bear fruit. And so for each of us who are learning this philosophy, in order for us to easily understand the material and easily achieve a state of serenity in our true self, we should share with other people. Okay, like the good fortune and bad fortune. You drop a stone into the pond. This time it is a stone of knowledge and wisdom. That stone will spread out, affect other people, raise their level of knowledge and wisdom, and it will bounce back. And so we will experience greater knowledge and wisdom.
It's like the thief on the cross with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
He interacted with Jesus and he seen the good in Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he accepted he knew he was wrong. He did was wrong, but Jesus was not, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Did nothing wrong, and he's on the cross with them,
Well,
bearing this.
Jesus, Jesus being God, Jesus being God, the God nature of Jesus is all seeing, that is the Father. But Jesus, the human side of Jesus, is human.
Yeah. Yes.
Human is subjected to the law of causality. So during Jesus' lifetime, he planted some seed that ultimately bore fruit. That is the cross. When you read the history of Jesus's life, what he did, he criticized the Jews. He criticized the government. Yeah. He goes into the temple and he smashed everything and made a lot of people angry. That is causality. It works, right? People fear that Jesus would become a King Herod, right? Whatever Jesus said or did, he caused King Herod to think that Jesus would overtake his throne. right? He caused the human being, he accumulated some negativity in terms of his affinity with the human being, some human being in that world, some Jewish in that world. He criticized a lot of people. He criticized the Pharisees. He criticized everybody. So when you criticize people, you cause them to go negative. You deposit a negative seed into your bad fortune account, and you're going to reap the fruit.
Mhm.
They wanted to kill him, and so they did. That is just the human side of Jesus. That is causality. God, God is very fair. Even Jesus operates under the will of the Father, which is, the will of causality. And he had to suffer the consequence of being human. Okay? That is his new human nature. He had the 16 human nature, right? Jesus had the human nature. He had judgment. He had a certain degree of pride and anger. Jesus got angry, right? He got very angry. And the thing he said, the thing he did, caused other human beings to respond in such a way that resulted in his being killed on the cross.
And for that thief, all his life he lived as a thief. He was bad,
Yeah.
and then that last minute of his life, he's awakened to awareness. He saw his inner image. He changed because he saw Jesus was good, and he's giving up his life for him.
Yeah.
Basically.
So
Yeah.
Jesus, in his, despite all the negative seed that he's planted for some people, Jesus also planted a lot of positive seed. He was the kind of seed that Jesus planted.
Yeah.
Was intellectual merit. Caused a lot of people to understood the truth about themselves, about peace. Caused a lot of people to go positive in terms of the skepticism, the trust, faith. So from Jesus's work, just 3 years worth of work spawned the entire religion that now takes up over a quarter of the entire world's population, over 2 billion Christians in the world. And a lot of that is built on the positive side of the skepticism, faith, trust, and faith. So people trust in God. Somehow he affected the people's, trust and faith in God. And the positive side of desire, right? Love, charity for other people. So instead of being selfish for yourself, Christians are going out there and they're creating charitable mission and they're helping other people. It is desire for other people's benefit. And at the same time, Christians are also finding ways to achieve a state of serenity. Catholic use the confession as a way of achieving a state of serenity. It is not about, all my fault, I'm blaming myself. No, it is about, okay, I see what I've done wrong. I offer it to God. I accept it. Causality ends. Serenity.
It's like all those people that live a good life, but they're still not aware.
Yeah.
They haven't got the awareness. They live a really good life, but they haven't got the awareness of their inner being. Actually are.
The advantage of our philosophy here is that once you recognize that truth within you, once you know how to stop causality, we accept all things as they come, and we don't plant new seed, and we just receive every outcome that we receive, then eventually, basically, we eat all the fruit. We eat all the bad fruit, and we don't plant any new bad fruit. Eventually, our garden will be nothing but good fruit. And that will be a state of being that is peace. If we want to live in a life that is full of sort of material and relationship positivity, then we work on helping other people become happy. We invest in helping other people become happy. We invest in our good fortune so that our next life will be better off. People who are rich, people who are happy and healthy is because they have invested a lot of their time and effort in the past life in making other people happy. And so now they are reaping the reward of it. Of course, if we use up our good fortune, then that fortune would be eventually be depleted. And so we continue sort of this life and the next life just kind of go up and down, going up and down. We're using fortune, we're accumulating fortune, we're using fortune, accumulating fortune, until we come to a realization that, or until we no longer want to do that anymore. Until we no longer want to become part of that cycle of birth and rebirth, of using fortune and accumulating fortune, we focus on the intellectual merit. We raise our awareness, we stop causality. And so it is believed that the Buddha and many Buddhist followers, once they understand the state of true emptiness, then they can escape from this cycle of birth and rebirth. And in fact, the kingdom of God is kind of like that as well. I think that they are the one and the same. To come back to the state of being where we are no longer tied down by our emotion and our mind. Okay. We are truly at peace. We are truly children. We just receive, we just hear and see. We're totally empty. And if the world can experience that emptiness, that serenity, that to be a nice world, to be the kingdom of God on earth. Okay, and that's all we, so the human construct, so now we have the idea of I'm going to use the word, I'm going to avoid, see if I can avoid using the word karma. And we're going to call it total, for now, we're just going to call it total causality. Causality. Okay, which include our knowledge, which include our total causal knowledge. Okay, we have our fruits and we have our seed. So total causal knowledge is a collection of all the knowledges that we have accumulated from countless lifetimes. Okay, total causal knowledge is all the knowledges that we have accumulated in the summary, in the sum of all our lifetimes. We have the, oh, this is not seed. Okay, so yeah, this is, okay, that's wrong. So we have the knowledge, we have the fruit, and this one is affinity. Okay, we have the total causal affinity. Okay, total causal affinity, which means it is our affinity, our relationship with other people that have been accumulated and cultivated throughout countless lifetimes. Okay, total causality, total causal knowledge, total causal affinity, and total causal outcome, which are the fruits. Marianne's asleep.
Okay. Oh, good.
Any questions so far about the garden of our subconscious?
So this concept just to help us to understand why we like a person, you know, when we just met them for the first time ever, and why we hate that person when we just see them for the first time.
And it opens up another choice. Okay, it opens up a choice. So whereas, right, so it's important that we come to that conclusion, otherwise it's meaningless.
So the choice is changed to change our what is it?
Before we understand
Mental image.
all of that together, so before we had this understanding, we were subjected to fate. Okay, causality determines our fate, determined what we are going to get as an outcome. We cannot escape it because of the law of causality. We cannot escape it because all the choices that we've made in life in the past, we are compatible with it, and we're going to receive the outcome. Fate or predetermination is something that we cannot escape. But now that we understand this, now that we have mentation, and now that we have thought, we have choice. So what we get is so we're still determined by fate. We're still subjected to causality, but we can choose our causality. We can choose our outcome. Before we understand causality, we can't help hating somebody, or we can't help liking somebody, or we can't help receiving any undesirable circumstances. Right? We seem to be helpless. In the Jewish tradition, right, back to the Christian religion. Christian religion is built upon the Jewish religion.
So I have a question. So fate mean in Vietnamese what is tổng nghiệp hả? Talking about tổng nghiệp.
No,
yet.
Định mệnh.
Oh, định mệnh.
Okay.
Destiny.
So before we, let me tell a little bit about the Jewish people. The Jewish people during Jesus' time, there are people who believe in multiple lifetimes, and those who don't. Some of them, there's the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Okay, some believe that there's life after death. Some believe that just there's life. There are those who believe that illnesses is a reflection of sin, especially leprosy, right? The skin condition, leprosy. The Jewish people associated leprosy with sin. So the question is, if a child is born and they haven't done anything and they contracted leprosy from their parent or whatever, where's the sin?
They blame their parents.
No, let's say a newborn baby, they haven't done anything yet. They haven't committed any sin in this lifetime. But if they contract leprosy, and leprosy is an expression of sin, where's the sin?
I just remember the blind,
from past lifetime.
The blind man. They blame his parents.
Yeah.
But I don't know about this.
In fact, whenever Jesus healed people, he would say, "Your sin is forgiven."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Jewish people understood that physical ailment had a spiritual and ethical seed to it. So in the case of children who are born with congenital diseases, children who are born with congenital diseases, they haven't done anything wrong. Why do they get to experience an undesirable circumstances? And the only way to explain that is that they have performed some bad deed in the past lifetime.
Yeah, that's based on Buddhism, right?
That is based on Buddhism and in the Jewish understanding.
Oh,
Got
I see.
lost in the Christian tradition because the Christian refused to believe in multiple lifetime. And
Right.
Christian doesn't offer an answer. The only time that in the Christian Bible that will talk about undesirable circumstances is in the book of Job. A man called Job, he contracted all kinds of illnesses. He lost his family, he lost his fortune, but he maintained faith in God, and so God restored his fortune and his family. But it does not explain why he experienced the negativity in the first place. Okay? Because the Christian religion is focused on faith. Okay, focus on faith, which is the positive side of the skepticism,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to clarity in terms of the human nature. With the Buddhism, they're interested in knowing, knowledge. They come to know. But with Christianity, Christian is asked to suspend knowledge about God. We don't need to know. You just need to believe. That's why there's, we praise the story of blessed are those who don't see but believe.
Mm-hmm.
When Jesus come back to life and people tell Thomas Jesus is alive, Thomas say, I don't believe it. I have to see it and then to believe it. And so that comes the saying that blessed are those who believe without seeing. The only disadvantage with believing without knowledge is that you risk running into superstition,
Mm-hmm.
believing things that are false.
Right.
And we are lucky to have, in fact, the Catholic Church is lucky because in the past, there are a lot of superstitions, like believing that you could pay for your sin by paying money. You could
Mm-hmm.
absolve your sin by buying. People buy forgiveness. Rich people can afford to buy more forgiveness. It's a little silly. And that is why the Martin Luther movement, right, the Protestant movement came about to try to reform the church. That's called a Protestant Reformation. Try to reform the church to go back into more about knowledge, about the truth, about the Bible. But even then, there is still very little emphasis on discovering the truth within us. So we are forced to look outside of the Christian tradition in order to explain that phrase, the truth, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Christian is concerned, the truth that would set you free is that Jesus came and died for our sin. It is a payment for our sin. We human beings, we are too sinful. We cannot pay for our sin. And somebody else, God himself, has to pay for our sin. That's fine. If you want to believe that, that's fine. That's okay. But now that we know this philosophy, it opens up another way of achieving salvation, simply by knowing the truth within us, that we have this simple will to see, to hear. And once we recognize it, it's not a belief, right? This knowledge of the truth within it, it is not a belief. I'm not asking anybody to blindly believe that we have this weird thing called the truth. I'm not saying that you should have faith in your true self. No. This whole process of interaction and explanation using many, many words is simply to raise our awareness so that we can actually know the truth. There's a difference between knowing something and believing in something.
Mhm.
We can believe the sun comes up, but if we know the sun comes up, that's totally different. Do we know the sun comes up every morning, or do we simply believe it? We kind of know it, right? It becomes very real for us when we know it. It's the same thing. We can come to know the truth within ourselves. We can come to know the kingdom of God as opposed to just blindly believing in it. Because if we blindly believe, then we allow other people to mislead us. And humanity history has already shown that we can be easily misled.
Mhm.
Okay. So I hope that this Buddhist or quasi-Buddhist, or this is a combination of Buddhism and Christianity discussion. I hope that that will help clarify your own faith. It does mine. It clarifies my faith. It makes me become a bigger belief in the power of God. When we talk about the energy of wisdom, we will talk about unconditional love, and that reinforces my faith in love as a saving grace. So through this interaction, through this method, I become a better Christian. I didn't lose my faith. I have stronger faith in God now than ever. It becomes easier for me to be loving, whereas before, with blind faith, you don't know why you should love other people. The explanation that the priest and the Bible wasn't enough to help a massive amount of people to understand love and peace and forgiveness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks to Master Toàn. And this philosophy of, what is it again? Root education.
Philosophy of root education. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Since I know about this knowledge, I understand Bible better.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Before I just like, why this happened? Why? But nobody can explain it.
Okay. Do you need any break before we go into the triangle of reality?
You have like about an hour?
Oh,
Two. Two, if we want to be good, 2 hour and
Oh yeah, my time, yeah.
mhm.
Oh, so you going to 7? Okay.
I'm just going to eat something. I was going to close my picture, but if you're going to take a break, I'll eat something while we're on break or something.
Let's take another break. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to take care of my health. We all want to take care of our health. So let's take a 15.
Yeah.
We'll be back at the hour. Okay, on the hour.
On the hour? Okay.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
That means 1 hour?
No, that means 7 o'clock.
Second. Okay. All righty. Last stretch. Okay, let's see if we can get the last stretch. Okay. Let's open my notes and make sure I.
Can I listen to the video, because I have rehearsal at 7, so I have to get ready by 6. 6 o'clock I have to get ready.
Where you going?
A rehearsal á, ca đoàn á.
You went, it's 12-hour, and then you're gonna stay awake some more to create value for other people. That's amazing. Okay.
Ồ, chết, ca đoàn xin xong đi về.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes I stay over to help the Vietnamese class too, but this week no, I'm gonna go home.
Okay.
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 Well, I just listen, but you know, I
Mm.
just stay on the car and listen.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about, let's see. Okay. Okay. So we human construct is a long part, a lot of part to it. Pretty important. It's understand ourselves.
Long part, but great outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the human construct is the religious and spiritual take on causality. Okay. The formula for the root cause of life is a scientific take. So we have, human being with this perspective. Okay. We have the scientific perspective. We have the religion, spirituality perspective. And then we have the other, which could be common sense. Okay. The scientific perspective, we use the root cause formula, because the scientific hypothesis begins with hypothesis with the end of the outcome, the final outcome in mind, and they work backward. Okay. They propose what the final outcome look like, and they try to come up with an experiment to prove it. And so with the root cause formula, we begin with the final outcome in mind, our mental images, and we work backward in trying to create the kind of belief, the kind of choices that will lead us to the final outcome. Religion and spirituality, we also look at, all of this is trying to look at causality of the, what the kind of good seed, what kind of good affinity. And now we're gonna look at the sort of a common sense with a little bit of science attached to it as well, called the reality triangle. In fact, we've been using the reality triangle. We just haven't explained what they are just yet. So with the reality triangle, okay, yeah, that's fine. So with the reality triangle, before we mention the reality triangle, let us come get to know this idea of a concept of a physical manifestation. Okay, physical manifestation. All things in this universe has a certain physical manifestation, especially physical object. We already went over the whole vibrational energy frequency thing, right? There's the object, matter, physical matter, okay? Matter, material, physical manifestation. An object has a physical manifestation when it is something that we can see, or we can feel, or we can sense. And in our sense, in our understanding, since we have expanded our awareness, a physical manifestation could be something that we become aware of, even if we can't feel it or see it. But from a scientific perspective, you take a physical object. A physical object has a certain physical manifestation. Let's take a look at lead and gold. Right? Lead, the element of lead and the element of gold. Lead and gold each has a specific physical manifestation. The physical manifestation of lead is kind of dull and grayish. The physical manifestation of gold is yellow, shiny, right? Lead and gold are different in physical manifestation. We can see it, okay? And as scientists study the nature of physical matter, they zoom in and down and down and down to the atom and beyond the atom, down to the protons and electron, down to the quarks, and down to an energy level. They discover that different object has different physical manifestation because they have different energy vibration. All right, they have different energy vibration, and we already talked about that. If we're in resonance with a certain thing, then we will be able to perceive it. But an object has a physical manifestation, and that physical manifestation came about as a result of the energy vibration. So lead is different from gold because lead has a different energy vibration than gold. Scientists can, when they try to explore, say, a mine or something like that, if they find a mine for mineral or something like that, they can use a machine that sends a certain vibration down, and that vibration reflect back up, and a machine can determine what kind of material is in the ground before they have to dig it up. Because each material has a energy vibration, and from that energy vibration, they know what kind of material is in the ground. When astronomers look at the stars, different stars in the sky, they can tell what that star is made of. Or if they look at a planet, they look at Mars, they look at Jupiter, they can tell what those planets are made of physically without touching it, by measuring the energy vibration. The energy vibration come in specific pattern that is only specific to that element. That's why nowadays, astronomers and scientists, they have been able to catalog thousands and thousands of stars and planets in far, far away galaxies without being there, but they can tell what those stars and what those planets are made of because they can measure the energy vibration. Therefore, the energy vibration of a physical object give rise to its physical manifestation. Right? There is something about lead, the way the energy of lead vibrates give lead that dull looking gray color. And then the way gold vibrates energy-wise give gold that luster, that gold shiny look. And as the scientists dig deeper, they look even closer down to the bottom level, down to the fundamental particle level. They discovered that each element has a different set of energy vibration because of the makeup, the fundamental makeup. Lead has a certain amount of protons and neutrons and electrons. Gold has a different set amount of protons, neutrons, and electrons. And they simply call it information. Okay, information. It is the information contained inside a material object that give rise to its energy vibration, which then give rise to its physical manifestation. Okay. Okay, so every object has a physical manifestation. It has an energy component. The energy component gives rise to the physical manifestation. The energy component came about as a result of the fundamental information about that object. The arrangement of the atoms, the protons and the electrons, that's information. And so as a result, the scientists say that if you know an information, the basic information about any object, then you can know its energy and you can know its physical manifestation. Not only that, in terms of when it comes to science, there are many more information like an object's position and velocity. If you know an object's position and its velocity at this moment in time, then you can project into the future and you will know where that object is going to be in the future. That's causality. Okay, science is very good at causality. If we know the position and the velocity of an object at this moment in time, then in the future you can work out a formula and you're going to know where that object is in the far future if you know the basic information. So we can apply this same idea to the human experience. It turns out that for now, we're going to work with the idea that when it comes to the human experience, things like happiness also has a physical manifestation, right? Happiness. Can we see happiness? Can we feel happiness? Yeah, we can see happiness. We can feel happiness. We can tell when somebody's happy. We can tell when we are happy. Happiness has a certain physical manifestation. And so we get to ask, oh, okay, so if there is a physical manifestation to happiness, there must be some energy component. There must be some information component. Okay? Good health, harmonious relationship. There's a physical manifestation of a harmonious relationship. And there must be an energy component to a harmonious relationship. And there must be an information component to harmonious relationship. And all we need to do is find out what is the information of happiness, what is the information of healthy relationship, good health. Then from there we can work out the energy component, and then we can work out the physical manifestation. In other words, if we want the outcome of happiness, all we need to know is the information about happiness. If we want the outcome, which is a physical manifestation of good health, all we need to know is what is the basic information about good health. Okay? Same with great finance. If we want to know, if we want to have the result, an outcome of good finance, all we gotta do is find out what kind of information is needed in order to experience a life of good finance. So this is a reality triangle. Okay, and it involves the three corners of the physical manifestation, the energy component, and the information component. So for now, let's just focus on the information component for now, okay? When it comes to human experience, to ourselves as an individual, the information within us, I'll draw another triangle. Information within us, what kind of, we're still looking for the core seed, right? We're still looking for the seed that will bring about the kind of positive affinity that will give us the desirable fruit that we want in life. Okay, in fact, this triangle can be expanded. Maybe we can expand it with just one triangle. The information within us as a human being is the cause or the seed. The outcome is the fruit. Okay, whatever we desire. Desired fruit. The seed and the desired fruit, multiple. Okay. And we already discovered that the energy component of a desired outcome or desired fruit is the affinity. Okay. In fact, the formula says good seed plus positive affinity equals desired fruit. That formula fits nicely into the reality triangle. Okay. So we're still working on the good seed. So let me explain. Let me expand. So now we're going to look at this corner, and we get to use this same triangle of reality, the information, the energy, and the physical, to expand this corner. This is you're going to see the power of the reality triangle. So if we're trying to find a good seed, we use the reality triangle and we expand it. Here we have the physical as well. Okay, here is the energy component of good seed. And then we have the information corner of good seed. Okay. In the physical corner of the good seed, we used the reference system of, we used mental images, remember? Okay. What kind of mental images? You know, positive, good images. Okay, good mental images. In the energy component, right, the affinity with people, there is that idea of the two account, right? The good fortune and merit. We talk about energy. It's a spiritual, ethical energy of good fortune and merit that will attract positive affinity that will help us bring about the fruit. And then in the information corner, we will discuss it in a little bit. The information within us, the core seed within us, is called the source concept. Okay. We want favorable source concept. And remember the seven candles, right? We say if we want to experience the life of the life that is good and desirable, we have to light up 7 candles. Total health, total wealth. And then there's the non-material aspect, and then there's a physical aspect of ourselves. In order to build the good seed within us, we begin with the source concept or the information corner of a good seed of wisdom. With good wisdom, that gives rise to a type of energy. Okay, this is wisdom. Give rise to a type of energy we call attitude. And when you have good wisdom and good attitude, we manifest that as a physical manifestation of a person who has good wisdom and attitude is a person of character. Okay. And then beyond that, if we are a person, this part gets a little sort of out there, but we can build a good seed inside of us by having good integrity and perfect integrity. We need capability, okay. A person of good integrity, capability, and we can work on our physique as well. That is more of a physical manifestation of who we are. Okay? That is the beginning of wisdom. So let's go back to the information corner. Okay? So the good seed within us, or the information within us, okay? What is the information? Okay, the core information within us, just like an element like lead or gold, the core information is made up of the protons, electrons, and neutrons. When it comes to a human being, the core information is made up of what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. The reality triangle has been expanded to explain the core information. What we know, what we believe, what we understand makes up the core information within us. Okay? What we know, what we believe, what we understand makes up the core information within us. And you kind of see that what we know is the information corner. What we believe, that is an energy. And once we know and we believe something, it solidifies into the physical manifestation of understanding. Okay. So once again, what we know, what we believe, and what we understand makes up core information about us. So if we want to have the kind of core seed that is good, then we should know and believe and understand in a way that is good. So when we talk about happiness, then the core information that we have about happiness is defined as what we know, what we believe, and what we understand about happiness. Because if we want to experience a life of happiness, okay, if the life of happiness is the final outcome, the fruit, then we're going to need to have the seed of happiness. And the seed of happiness is the core information about happiness. And the core information about happiness is broken down to what we know, what we believe, and what we understand about happiness. If good health is the final outcome that we want, then we're going to need to plant good seed with respect to health. And the good seed is the core information about health. Core information within us about health is simply what we know, what we believe, and what we understand about health. Okay? If healthy marriage or harmonious marriage is the fruit that we want to reap, then the core information about harmonious marriage is simply what we know, what we believe, and what we understand about harmonious marriage. In the Catholic tradition, before we get married, we have to attend a 6-month education on marriage. We work on our knowledge, belief, and understanding about marriage. And as a result, the chance of a harmonious marriage in a Catholic family is a little bit higher. Unfortunately, the knowledge, belief, and understanding isn't complete. So there's still plenty of divorces, even in Catholic marriages. That just goes to say that the knowledge, belief, and understanding is incomplete. So if we want a happy and harmonious marriage, we need to come to a full grasp, a complete understanding, a complete belief, and complete knowledge about what it means to have a happy and healthy and harmonious marriage. Okay? If we want good finance, when we think about finance, what we know, what we believe, what we understand about finance represent our core information about finance, which are our source concept about finance, which is the good seed about finance, which will eventually bear good fruit when it comes to finance. Okay, triangle of reality is that simple. If we want to understand the core seed, we just expand it into what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. When we think about exercise, okay, when we think about exercise, what do we know about exercise? What are our beliefs about exercise, and what do we understand about exercise? That makes up our core information, which makes up our source concept. We call that source concept. The core information is a source concept from the source. From that source, we can build a complete understanding of exercise. Yeah. How about investment? Many people invest and they fail or they succeed. But those who succeed are the people who have appropriate core information, core knowledge. What they know and what they believe and what they understand about investment represent their source concept about investment, and thereby represent their outcome when it comes to investment. Okay. So so it's important that we can go back to the other pictures. Physical, okay? So there's a physical and the information and the energy. In order to have a physical manifestation of something like, let's say, good health, we have to have the good information or good source concept. We have to have good fortune and merit. We have the good energy related to it. There are people who try to appear to be healthy. They just look good on the outside. But on the inside, they don't understand, or they don't know, or they don't have a right belief about good health, then whatever the physical expression isn't going to last. It's the same with relationship. Some people seem to have a good relationship for a short while, but if they don't have good source concept about relationship, if they don't have good fortune and merit, remember fortune and merit had to do with the affinity, help causing other people to become positive. If they don't have good fortune and merit, if they don't have good mental images, then whatever happy relationship they have isn't going to be very stable. They just happen to be fortunate, or they happen to be lucky for a short amount of time. So in order to have a outcome to be stable and lasting, we had to have all aspects of the reality triangle. We have to have the physical, the energy, and the information. We have to have good mental images. We have to have good fortune and merit, and we have to have good source concept, or favorable source concept. And favorable source concept is defined as what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. You guys get that part so far? Okay, yeah. So the source concept represent what we know, what we believe, and what we understand about something. And when we have good source concept, okay, I think my knowledge of the reality triangle is I think that's it. Okay, that's all I know. Okay, let me see if I can apply the reality triangle to a happy marriage. Okay, from what I understand, a happy marriage require, in terms of the let's go back to, let's use another piece of paper. Okay. Okay, so this is a triangle of reality of happy marriage. Okay, so we have a physical manifestation of marriage. We have the energy component of a good marriage, a harmonious marriage, and we have the information corner of a happy marriage. A physical manifestation of a happy marriage is two people on the same path in life. The longer we stay on the same path, the longer the happy marriage is lasting. That's how we can, how long, how long we can stay together. That's what they say. That would mean when it says same path. The energy component of a happy marriage is the same agreement. Okay. When a couple agree about important things, such as finance, such as there are really three things. There is love, sex, and finance. Okay. So and the information corner of a happy marriage is the couple speaking the same language. Okay. What we mean here when we say same language, what we really mean is the same awareness. Okay. About what? Agreement about what? The physical, so we can break up the happy marriage into another triangle. There is the three aspect of a happy marriage. It is finance. It is a very material, okay, physical material, finance. It's a big aspect of a happy marriage, a very material aspect of the finance. From the information which is awareness and the language, do we have the same awareness about love? And in the energy corner, do we agree on sex? In a divorce court, when a couple file for divorce, oftentimes there is a mediator or somebody who might offer the last chance possibility of reconciliation. And during the interview of the couple, they discovered that it is usually one of these three corners that is not in agreement or not speaking the same language. One person may say, I feel like I love the other person more, but the other person doesn't love me as much as I love that other person. Another person may say, we don't agree on the finance. He's spending too much, she's spending too little. We disagree on the finance. We fight over how we use our money. We fight over how he or she is using money for the in-laws. Right? Especially Vietnamese people, we take care of our parents. If a husband or a wife use the common marriage money to take care of his parents or his side of the family, the in-law, oftentimes the spouse will not agree with that. And it could be a big, huge fight over how money is used. And sex. When a man and a woman disagree on sex, something that's very fundamental, it can ruin a marriage. When a man or woman when a couple disagree on sex, one partner will usually go out and have sex with other people. And so that breaks the marriage. Love. There's a book called The 5 Languages of Love by Gary Chapman. Okay. With love, Gary Chapman offered us a look into how different people express love differently. And it's not just in a marriage relationship, it can be in any relationship. So it is 5 languages of love. My writing, my spacing is so weird. Okay, let's do that again. Oh, okay. So there's a book called 5 Languages, and I recommend that you guys read it. 5 Languages of Love. Okay. One is physical touch. Okay. As human beings, some human beings are natural at physical touch. We like to hold hand, we like to kiss, we like to hug, we like to have sex. That's physical touch. That is how we express love. To our spouse, to our children, we like to hug them, we like to kiss them, and we like to be hugged, and we like to be kissed. We like to hold hands. Physical touch. The second language of love is since we're using this philosophy, I'm going to say gift of speech. We like encouragement. We like kind word. Okay, gift of speech. We like to hear nice word. Number 3 is gift of quality time. There we go. Quality time. Spend time with each other. Go on date, see movie, have dinner together. Human being, we like those things. Number 4, let me just look it up. I want to make sure my mind is a little slow at this moment, at this time. 5 languages of love. Okay. Okay, let's change that to use the actual word that the author used. Okay. Let's change it to use that. So it's important that in a happy marriage, we speak the same language. That is the information corner of the reality triangle of happy marriage. Okay, so this is 5 love languages. Number 1, words of affirmation. Okay, that is basically gift of speech, words of affirmation, encourage, positive word. You say nice thing to another person. Number 2, act of service. Okay, acts of service. In the language of the 7 gift, it is our gift of body. You help the other person. We do things for the other person. You do the laundry, you cook the food, you cook dinner. Act of service, serving the other person. Number 3, thoughtful gifts. Some people like to give gift and receive gift. Birthday gift, anniversary gift, holiday gifts. And number 4, quality time. Time that we spend with the other person. You play together. You go to a movie together. You eat together. You talk together. You sit in a park bench and you do nothing together. You just do nothing together. quality time. And number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did I miss? Did I do words of affirmation, acts of service? Oh, okay, the physical touch. Okay, the other, yeah. So I already talked about physical touch. Okay, hugging, kissing, having sex. Now the problem with broken marriage is this lack of common language. A spouse may be a person that can really enjoy acts of service. He or she will do the chores. He or she will cook the food. He or she will do the laundry. He or she will do a lot of acts of service. But if the spouse doesn't speak the same language, then that spouse would not vibrate at the same energy frequency. And so that acts of service become empty space for them. They might not recognize that as an act of love. It's a language of love. So you could do all kinds of things to serve your loved ones, but if that loved one doesn't speak the same language, then they feel like you haven't done it. And if they don't recognize that you have done those service, they don't feel appreciated, right? They don't correspond, they don't serve you back because it is not their love language. And so the first person feels they have been unappreciated, that I love them more than they love me. At the same time, the other spouse may be the kind of person who like to give gifts. Birthday, anniversary, different celebration, the person keep on bringing gift. But if the person isn't the kind of person who speak the language of thoughtful gift, they would just take for granted the gift and they would not reciprocate. And so the other spouse start to think that, oh, my spouse doesn't love me, doesn't appreciate my gift, and never give me gift, therefore they don't love me. You see how it works? In each of these love language, we can express it, but if the other person doesn't speak the same language, they won't get it. It is empty space for them because they are not at a vibrational energy frequency match for it, and they don't reciprocate. And so in a fortunate marriage, in a happy marriage, we should have more than less. For my wife and me, we have a common language of physical touch. We love quality time. We love words of affirmation. We don't mind performing acts of service. And we don't care about gifts. And that's great because that saves a lot of money on gifts. So we have 4 out of 5 in common. And the one that, in fact, we have all 5 in common, not liking the gift. We agree on not caring about gift. When it comes time to anniversary, we don't bother giving each other a gift because it doesn't mean anything to each other. But quality time is important. Physical touch is important. Sex is important. Okay. Acts of service is important, and words of affirmation is important. Many couples go through a long process of dating, trying to understand each other. It happened, over many months, for some people, many years of dating, trying to understand each other. For me and my wife, we met online. After exchanging a few, messages online, I felt that we need to meet and come to understanding each other. So I invited her to read this book, this 5 Love Languages. And so, since my wife at that time, she doesn't speak English very well, so I invited her, why don't you get a Vietnamese copy of the book, read it in Vietnamese, and also send me a Vietnamese copy. I had originally read the book in English, but I made the effort of asking my wife to send me the Vietnamese version so that I could read in Vietnamese, so that I could basically speak the same language with respect to the book. So when we met physically for the first time, when we met each other, we had already read the book in Vietnamese. And in a short amount of time, in the end of the book, there's a little test, an assessment. We get to answer a bunch of questions, and based on the question, the book will tell you what are your primary love languages are. For me, I think physical touch was number one, quality time, no, physical touch was number one, words of affirmation was number two, quality time was number three, acts of service was four, and thought to give was five. My wife did the same assessment, and her, I think physical touch was one, quality time was two, acts of service, and the words of affirmation. Slightly different order, but the first two, physical touch and quality time, is a match. And we don't care about gift. Great, that eliminate some expenses. And so in a short amount of time, my wife and I became very close very easily. We didn't have to go through that whole trying to figure out if we are a compatible match or not, because through this assessment, we came to speak the same. We discovered that we came to speak the language, the same language. Had other couple gone through the same assessment, they would have discovered the love language that their spouse used, and that would open up a choice. If your love language don't match, then you have a choice. Either you go separate way, find people who match, or you learn the language of the other person. If you truly love the other person, you can come to learn, right? If a person doesn't like physical touch, but prefers thoughtful give more, and the spouse is the opposite, then you can learn to give gift, or you can learn to be more physically intimate. It opens up a choice that you can make when you have an awareness about the 5 love languages. Right? And that is the information corner of a happy marriage. We speak the same language. We have the same awareness, okay? Speak the same love languages. And that takes care of the love corner of the triangle of reality of happy marriage. Okay, and from once you speak the same language, then that takes care of all the other part. We have the same awareness about sex. We have the same awareness about finance. We can agree about finance. We can agree about sex, and we can agree about love. Simple. Right? So really there are there's 9 golden words. There are 9, 9 aspects or 9 element of harmonious marriage. Okay, you take the 3 agreement, okay. in terms of awareness. Okay, awareness. The other one is language, sex. Hang on, my mind is a little blank. Okay, so there is the let's rewrite that. Okay, so there is the three agreement. Okay, I'll just kind of mark it right here. Same, that okay, the same. Okay, so same path, same agreement, same language. Okay, three same. You multiply that with the three. You multiply that with love, sex, and finance. Okay, you have the same language, the same agreement, and same path with respect to love. Same language, same agreement, same path with respect to sex. Same language, same agreement, same path with respect to finance. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9 elements of harmonious marriage. Okay, that's it. That is the reality triangle of happy marriage. Physical, energy, and information.
So,
Anybody have any question? Yes.
yeah. Yeah, so, but in the fact that I see that many of family are happy without finance, but they are poor, but they
Yeah.
are happy.
We're not,
But when they have finance, when they have money, they are happy.
I'm not saying that you have to have money. I'm saying you have to have the agreement about money. Okay, it is your agreement. It is your same path, same agreement, and same language about money.
Mm-hmm.
If one person wants a lot of money and another person does not want a lot of money, that's when you have a problem. When you have a conflict of two different language, two different agreement, and so we cannot share the same path.
You cannot buy happiness.
Huh? There you go. Okay. But if a couple have the same agreement, the same awareness about money, okay, we have the same awareness. For some people, okay, all we need is an X amount of money. But for some people, we both need to make a lot of money. As long as you have the same agreement, the same language and awareness, and you can walk the same path.
Yeah, that the important thing is the
It is
same.
the agreement and the awareness. Some
Mhm.
couples, husband or one spouse will be the money maker. They bring all the money, and the other spouse, they do nothing. They don't make any money. They are they are homemaker. They take care of the kid. As long as that is an agreement, okay? They agree on how they use the finance. Some couple agree that to have separate accounts. I make my own money. I will spend it my way. You make your own money. You will spend it your way. Anything that's common, our house, our children, we put it in our common account. So they have 3 finance accounts. That's fine, as long as they are in the same agreement, speak the same language with respect to finance. Okay, some people sign a prenuptial agreement on finance, meaning it is a contract or an agreement piece of paper that's saying that all my money that I accumulate before I get married belongs to me. All the money that we make together belongs together. And so when they get divorced or something, they don't lose the money that they have made before the marriage. They only split the money that they have made together. But usually people who come into a marriage with that preconceived notion of we're doing this so that eventually we might split up, that's a little weird. That, you know, already planting negative seed. It's like coming in half-hearted. Your money is more important than your love. But that's because they have not had a favorable source concept about happy and harmonious marriage. They have not been exposed to this formula. The three same language, same agreement, and same path with respect to love, sex, and finance. Okay.
It's like a respire.
Hmm?
Respire. Công thức. It's
Complete the formula, okay, or recipe.
a recipe. A recipe of happy marriage. So
Yeah.
it's not easy to find that the person is the same with the
Not about easy or hard.
It's not easy. And most of marriage that they don't have three sides.
Yeah, most marriage don't have this formula. That's why they struggle.
Yeah.
That's why 50% of marriages in the United States end up in divorce.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 chance. That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. It's like playing dice is like gambling with your life.
So that's why I saw many divorce here around me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some of my friends are afraid of marriage. They don't want to get married.
Give them the book. Yeah, 5 love languages. Okay. Okay, that's all I have for the if I can think anything else. Let's see if I have I want to, there's a little bit of time left. Let's see, there's
You're almost line, Frank.
huh?
You're almost at the finish line.
I know I gotta finish. Hang on. There are a lot more of a reality triangle. Let me look it up real quick. All the other sharing I have done in season 2 of my sharing, and so it took me a week to share each, you know, topic, but I haven't gotten to the I haven't taken the time to study the reality triangle. So let me see. I know it. Oh, there is triangle of reality here.
Ron, you look like a happy couple, right?
Yeah. I'm Frank. You're doing so wonderful. I've been hearing in the background all the time.
I appreciate your presence.
Yeah, it is so amazing you're doing this.
Okay. There's a lot of really okay. And a lot of good triangle of reality. But, which one should I pick? I don't want to jump into wisdom just yet. Okay. Okay, we talked about the triangle of reality of a good life, Good seed. You know what? It's okay. Enough is enough. I'm not going to share anymore. This is your chance to ask question and then, share back. I'm not going to bring out any more material. Okay. The Lâm, so I'm still holding your desires in mind. You are looking to wanting to help your son become healthier, right? He got weaker after COVID, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're helping that friend of yours, and then you're trying to build a home for your parents.
Yeah. And after going out with my friends, I have a desire that I want to do something to make my friends' life happier.
Okay. Well, you can, this 5 love languages isn't just for marriage couple. You can apply it to other people, to your children or to your friend. Based on your interaction with your friend so far, do you know which of her 5 love languages that she usually express or enjoy receiving? Does she likes to be complimented? Does she likes to be served? Does she like to receive gift? Does she like quality time? Does she like to hugs and kiss?
But how should we do if they feel tired with their marriage?
I'm sorry?
They feel tired with their marriage.
Okay, your friend is tired with her marriage?
Yeah. What
Okay.
should I do?
Try giving them the book. Buy the book, 5 love languages.
Mm.
The Vietnamese version, that's where my wife got it from Vietnam. 5 ngôn ngữ tình yêu.
Mhm.
Okay, buy them that book. But first you have to decide, first you have to find out if your friend wants to receive the book. Does your friend trust you enough to receive your advice?
If they don't believe, what
Yeah.
should I do?
Does your friend believe you if you give her advice?
Because I'm not, because I don't have marriage, I don't have happy marriage. So how should I do to make them believe in me?
It would be a good practice for you in your interaction with your friend. Okay.
Does she want to save the marriage, or does she want to she has to look at her inner self, her inner being, look at the good points of her husband. What are the good parts? And weigh the options and make that change. Change your belief in your husband or wife, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So chị Lâm, do you have a desire to eventually become a mentor with?
Not yet.
Not yet. Do you ever have a desire to share the knowledge of the good education with other people,
Yeah,
including people like your friend?
yes, I just want to share my knowledge with my friends.
Yeah. Well, in order to be effective at sharing with your friend, it is a good idea to enroll in the mentor with program, because that is where we learn to share.
Yeah.
And that is where we learn to share effectively. If all you are interested in is a transformation and a better life, then the 21-day course is enough. But if you have the desire to help other people, then it is a good idea to learn how to do it right.
Yeah, but I
Mhm.
don't have time in the evening.
Huh?
I don't have time in the evening, and I want to join Vietnamese group.
Okay, that's
That's
good. That's fine.
because my English is not enough to understand all.
Yeah, that we don't have a mentor with program in English. So don't worry about the English. There is no mentor with program in English.
It's coming though.
Yeah, soon.
It will be coming.
It will, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to share with you something.
Taekwon's talking about getting some kind of English program.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Let me find that circle of knowledge. Okay. Keep that one there. Okay, so this is important. Were you here when we talk about the circle of knowledge? Were you here when we
We
talk
know
about the
what
circle of knowledge?
we know what we know.
Mm-hmm.
We okay. We don't know what we don't know.
Okay, so each of us, we have a circle of knowledge. We know what we know. Okay. We also know what we forgot. We know that we don't know. This part is important, sorry. Okay. You've gone over the circle of knowledge before, but this part is important. This is when we interact with other people. Okay, so imagine your friend. When we speak to other people, is it true that we can only speak from what we know? The circle of we know. We can't speak to other people from the part that we've already forgotten. We can't take what we don't know and we talk to other people. We can only talk to people from what we know. Right? We can only use what we know when we talk to other people. Right? So like when we're giving advice or something like that, advice is our knowledge and we speak from our own knowledge. Now the thing is, when we speak from our own knowledge, when we use our own knowledge and experience and we speak to other people, several possibilities can happen. If we say something that falls into the other person, this is us now, this is us, okay, we are the blue one. If we say something using our knowledge, if what we say fall into the circle of what they know that they already know, one or two things can happen. They can agree with us. They already know it. They will agree with us. Or they might disagree with us. And we might end up arguing. Now, either they agree with us or disagree with us. It doesn't contribute any new knowledge value to the other person. Because they already know it. Right? If we speak to another person from our own knowledge, and it falls into their circle of I know, then it will contribute no new knowledge value because they already know it. There's another possibility. If we speak to another person from our own knowledge and it touches upon the circle where they know that, but they've forgotten it, then you have simply reminded them of something they've forgotten, right? But consider this, they have forgotten it in the first place because it's not important to them. Their knowledge that you tell them it falls into the part that they've forgotten. Yeah, you reminded them, but since they've forgotten it in the first place, it wasn't important for them to remember. So you reminded them fine, you turn it into the part that they know, but eventually, because it's not important to them, they will forget again. So you have not contributed any new knowledge value to the person. If we speak to another person from our own knowledge, and it falls into the part that they don't know, but they know that they don't know, same thing. You tell them something that they didn't know. So what you've done is you've expanded the knowledge circle, but that is something that they don't know, but they know that they don't know, is because it's not important either. Because if it is important, if that knowledge is important, they would have gone to school and learned it for themselves. They would have made it their own knowledge. It would have been, if it's important enough for them. You get that?
Yeah.
But since they don't know it, that means it's not important enough for them to spend time to get to know it. They didn't go to school, they didn't try to find out. So it remained what they don't know. They know that they don't know. So if we talk to them from our knowledge and it touch upon the circle of what they know that they don't know, it is the same thing as what they know if they forgot. It's not important. And so we have not contributed any new knowledge value to the person. And that is why the story that our teacher Tuan shared with us, and I'll remind you that when he was young, 20 years old, he was very knowledgeable. He had a lot of knowledge. His circle of knowledge was very big. He went to a Zen temple and he met a Zen master. And he found that the Zen master was reading a book. And so being a young man of knowledge and he wanted to learn things, he comes and he want to talk to the master and he wanted to ask the master, what are you reading, master? And the Zen master said, oh, I don't remember. I read and I've forgotten everything I read. And so this young man, having a lot of knowledge at that time, he also possessed the knowledge of how to read quickly and how to remember everything. He proceeded to share that knowledge with the master. So the master indulged him, let him talk for half an hour about how to read book, how to remember everything, and how to recall everything, thinking that he has contributed knowledge to the master's circle of knowledge. And after about half an hour or so, the Zen master say, okay, thank you, young man. I appreciate you trying, but to be honest, it is not so much that I've forgotten what I read. It is actually because I have erased my memory after reading. I have erased my own memory after reading. So this young man was surprised and he asked, Master, why would you erase your mind, erase your memory after you're reading? Isn't reading the purpose to increase your knowledge? Why would you waste time and energy reading something and then erase your mind? And so the master told him this. Well, if I accumulate a lot of knowledge, but I will end up with a lot of knowledge. And if I use my knowledge to help other people, they will not understand. So instead of using my knowledge to help other people, I just erase my memory and I speak to other people using their knowledge. In other words, if I speak to other people from what I know, they will not understand. However, if I speak to people from what they know, then they will understand. Why? Because there are many people who comes to the Zen temple asking for advice and asking for help, if I speak from my own knowledge, well, first of all, some people are more knowledgeable than me. There are young students, such as yourself, who has knowledge of the scripture, of the text. And if I try to speak to them from my own knowledge, then my knowledge would be less than theirs, and I would not be able to help them. There are people who are PhD level. There are people who are illiterate. There are children. If I speak from my own knowledge, then they would not understand. But in order to help them, I have to speak from their knowledge. And that's all the Zen master said. So our teacher, this young man, it took him a while to understand what that means. Once he understood is that in order to help another person, we have to get to know them. We have to ask them what they know. And when we ask them what they know, they tell you what they know, right? When they tell you what they know, you incorporate their knowledge into your circle of knowledge. So now your circle of knowledge include not only what you know, but your circle of knowledge include what they also know. So when you speak from them, you speak it from their circle of knowledge. The advantage of asking with humbleness and authentic desire to know is that we expand our own circle, incorporating the other person's knowledge. And so our teacher developed this principle. Okay, so this is a principle, this is an expansion of the idea that in order to help another person, we have to speak from their circle of knowledge. And this is how we do it. In order to help somebody know something, we have to ask and listen and find out what they believe. In order to help them know something, we have to find out what they believe first. Here, we're talking about three perspectives. If a person is a kind of person who believes in science, then they tend to explain life in terms of science. And if we want to speak to them, we have to find out that, oh, they like science, so we have to use science to explain to them. That way they will come to know. And that is why in this teaching, we use the scientific approach a lot. We use examples of energies and space and matter and vibrational frequency, right? Those are all scientific terms. If you have to find out what the beliefs are, if that person tend to be more religious and spiritual person, they explain life in terms of religion and spirituality, then we have to speak that language. Speak in terms of religion and spirituality. If they're Buddhist, you have to learn some fundamental ideas of Buddhism. And that is why in this teaching, we borrow from the Buddhist philosophy. The 16 human nature, Zen Buddhist idea of the emptiness of being. If the person is neither scientific or religious, then you can find a common sense approach. Okay? The only way that you can help a person know something is first you establish what the belief systems are. And secondly, you have to establish that they believe you. You have to become the kind of person that the other person is trusting, right? Believe and trust. If they trust you enough, they would listen to what you say, and that will expand their knowledge. Right? And if they have a certain knowledge, You have to use what they know in order to help them understand. And if they have been wondering and questioning, inquiring a certain topic, then you can help them comprehend, which is a deep understanding. And finally, not all people want to know. In order to cause somebody a transformation, which is a change in behavior, even to learn new things, whether we're trying to share the philosophy of education to another person, or we're sharing the advice of the 5 love language to a person who is having marriage trouble, you have to find out if they actually want your advice. So you begin by talking in your normal conversation with the friend. Just ask questions. And as they're talking, we listen, we listen, we listen. We listen with humbleness. Don't try to advise right away. Don't be like, I know it all. Just listen to be humble. Listen with the authentic desire to know the other person, to expand your circle of knowledge. And as you expand your circle of knowledge, and as you listen very well, the person may become more trusting. They may ask more. They may start to ask you why you want to know. And then during your conversation, you have to ask, okay, so do you want to change? Do you want transformation? Do you want to change your marriage? Are you happy the way you are right now? Or are you happy with the way, your own solution? Do you have your own solution? Some people are not happy with their marriage, but they have their own way of trying to fix things. They might try to remove darkness from the room instead of bringing light into the room. And they do that. A lot of people do that. They trust in their own problem-solving skill. And they don't want your advice. And in which case, you have to respect that. They will get to learn it their way. Their causality, there will be the time when they will come to realization. But in your interaction, if you get the friend to say, yeah, I want to change my marriage, and yeah, I want to learn, and yeah, I want to learn from you, then you can share. Then you can give advice. So it takes a lot of steps. And it takes, a little bit of, it takes a humbleness. It takes a little training to do as well. That's why if you want to help other people, if you want to sincerely help other people transform, take the mentor course. Did you get anything out of that interaction?
Yeah. So the good speaker is the good listener.
Yeah. Now, what does it mean to be a good listener? What does it mean to be a good listener?
Listen with your heart, with your sympathize, with your understand. That means we listen with all your heart and with your sympathy, understanding, maybe like that.
Yeah. Were you here when we discussed this?
Yeah, pardon.
This is a Chinese word for listen. Okay, this is a Chinese word for listen. I don't know how to write Chinese, but I just how I draw it. This Chinese word has a bunch of characters. Over here, this one looks like the ear. Okay, this character here means the ear, the physical ear. This plus symbol here, that's the number 10 in Chinese. Number 10 represents perfection. 10 means perfect. This symbol over here means the eye. It's kind of like the eye. See the face with two eyeballs. So when you combine the perfect 10, the word 10 means perfect. Perfect eyes, you're talking about meaning complete, full eyesight. This is the gift of seeing in our 7th great gift. Over here, this one horizontal dash, that is number 1. 1 stands for unity, connection, right? When the Vietnam become unified in one country instead of 2 countries, this number 1 is unity. Unity with what? The bottom character is the heart. So when you're listening physically with your ear, right? Listen just so that you can actually hear what the other person is saying. And you listen. While you listen, you're looking at them, not just with your physical eye, but your perfect eye, your gift of seeing, your nhãn thí. You see the potential for goodness in the other person. Mental images. You see the possibility of that person being good and healthy and happy. In unity with your heart. Give them the gift of your heart, your gratitude, your magnanimity, your presence. So listen with your ears, with perfect gift of seeing in unity with your heart. And down here, there's a picture of 3 horizontal dash with a vertical dash. This picture, a little character says, heaven, humanity, earth. The horizontal connection is a person who connects heaven, humanity, and earth. And that is a symbol for a king. It takes a king, a leader, to truly listen to his people. Most of the time, when we listen, we're not listening to understand or listening to know. Most of the time when we're listening, we're formulating thoughts and how to respond. All right, when you talk to your friend, oftentimes that's the case. They're saying something when you're not hearing, you're just hearing yourself speak. They're already always speaking. We're hearing yourself speak and you're waiting to respond. And because we're waiting to respond, because we're talking to ourselves, even while somebody is speaking, we're not hearing what they're saying. So when we learn to listen, you can suspend your own thought and just listen with all your whole being. And then once you do that, on the one hand, we expand our circle of knowledge so that we can understand the other person, so we can speak. When it comes time to speak, we can speak from their knowledge. And number 2, if we listen like this, that person will start to feel that you are truly listening, that you are caring, that you are totally accepting. Then your affinity with the other person go up. It is the nhãn thí, tâm thí, phòng thí. So you have performed a great charity when all you gotta do is listen. You do nothing. You just sit there and listen. But your affinity with the other person go up because you have performed a great gift, a gift of listening. And as your affinity with the other person go up, you deposit a good seed into your good account, your affinity go up. So your chance of the person listening to you back, when it's time for you to speak, they will respect you more, right? Your relationship is now better. So they will be more likely to ask for your advice. They will be more likely to be open to your advice and suggestion. And then when you speak, they will listen. Power of listening is the power of raising your affinity with another person. And it raises your quality as a person, the non-material quality, a person of character. Okay, it raised your character as a person. They look at you and they see this is a person of character, this is a person of wisdom, this is a person of great attitude, great integrity. Let's see what she has to say. Maybe she has something to share. And then when they ask you, then you can tell her what you think is best for her. All right, so practice listening.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Okay. That's all. Okay. I'm gonna wait until my timer reaches 24 hours. 4 more minutes. I do want to take this time to appreciate, okay? I'm very grateful, Chị Lâm, for spending several hours with us and for joining the weekly Zoom as well. I hope to see you again this coming Thursday, okay?
Yeah, I also thank you so much for your lesson, for your sharing today. So that's
Did you
your
learn
power.
anything? What did you get out of it? What lesson did you learn today?
Yeah, that's I have some lessons. I have some lesson like the lesson last lesson I learned from you that the way to listen, the way to good listen, yeah, and the second lesson that we the way we should or the way we should do that to make make marriage happily, right? Happy. That's and I know about the human structures. There's a lot of elementaries that is difficult for me, but I can understand it. It's not almost I cannot understand almost all, but I can understand some. Okay. I
Okay,
think
I don't
I will.
understand that.
I think I will read human structure in Vietnamese to can understand more, because it's related with science or something like that. So I am not good in science, so it's difficult for me to understand. Right? Yeah, but so and I think I learn more, but not now. I need to time. I need time. I need time to recap it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. And I want to thank Miss Ann Zhang for being here for so long. I don't know if you're actually present in the Zoom. And I want to thank Moke and Zoom, and Zoom and Chị Moke, okay, for being present. Your support is a value to me, even if you don't interact. Just having people in the Zoom, just kind of raise the energy. And even if you don't have your camera on, if you get anything out of the sharing, out of other people sharing, out of my sharing, then yeah, you're very welcome, Chị An Trang. Thank you for responding. Just by being present, by listening, it helps me. It helps me accumulate intellectual merit. It helps me understand the stuff more. Okay, it does help me understanding stuff more. It helped me on the journey to become a more effective mentor. And I'm very grateful for that. Okay. And thank you, Ron, again, as well. Your energy is wonderful. You really come back a different person after 10 days of offline.
I know. I was only going there to observe and support Hua because she was there for her mentor 6.
Yeah.
And what they said when we got there was, in 10 days, we're learning what they would normally learn in 6 months.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I was so appreciated that I had translation, so I was able to learn. And I appreciate everything you're teaching as well, Frank. You just reviewed everything we did in the 10-day
Yeah.
meetings. Yeah,
Mhm.
and you did a great job. I enjoyed it. I just wish I was there for the 24 hours.
Let me see if my recording works. If the recording actually successful, I will post it. Okay, you can review it. I'll put the link on the group, the Telegram group. You see it. Okay, if it works, the House of Health and Happiness group that we usually
Yeah,
it work. Okay, and then on Thursday, are you flying on Thursday?
we leave here at 7:45.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
Actually, Thursday morning I can be on Zoom because you're Wednesday night, right? 6 o'clock.
So 9 a.m. Vietnam time. And
Yeah,
you,
on Thursday. Yeah, so I'll be able to watch it because we don't leave till 7:45. So
oh,
yeah,
PM. You're leaving 7:05 in the evening.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
So I can make the Zoom.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you again, Chị Lâm. Okay, I will definitely see Marianne.
So, may I
Okay.
have a last question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So why we call the reality triangle? So
Why is it called a reality triangle?
yes. So why the reality square? Rectangle or something like that, or circle? So why is triangle?
Because there's
Because it's convenient. Okay. Because it's effective and it is a powerful tool.
Mhm.
And because our teacher once later on when I share about the wisdom, the different levels of wisdom, level 1, 2, 3, 4, there are certain knowledge that we human beings will be able to acquire without studying. We acquire it either from opening our total causal knowledge, which we have accumulated in past lifetime, or we acquire it from a higher intelligence. We download it from a higher intelligence. Okay, from angels, from God, from advanced alien civilization. So whatever it is, our teacher Thorn, he just got it. He just downloaded it. And one day he was sitting on the toilet and he just downloaded it and it became a powerful idea. Before that, he couldn't explain a lot of the human construct. He couldn't explain a lot of things. But with the reality triangle, it helps make the whole philosophy complete. From the explanation that we have the scientific view, we have the religious view, and we have the common sense view. We have this good seed, we have positive affinity, we have desired fruit. That 3 triangle, it just be
every
knowledge, understanding, and belief. Yeah.
information, energy, and science.
Energy, information, energy, and science. Every aspect of life, every aspect of reality can be inserted into a reality triangle and apply causality to it. It seems to be a perfect tool that works with everything. The entirety of life, in the physical world, in the religion and spiritual world, in the human experience, right? I've used it to explain the reality of marriage. Without that, it's going to be a little harder. Many people have tried to explain, a lot of these concepts of how to be happy and how to be healthy for thousands and thousands of years. But with the reality triangle, we can make it easy for people to comprehend in just a few hours.
Give them awareness.
Yeah, we can raise the awareness, which is the reality of triangle.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a
And then
power.
you get the outcome you want in life
Okay.
once your awareness is raised.
Okay. And in order to reach the quote unquote level 4 level of wisdom, where you download things that you didn't learn in this lifetime, you have to reach level 3. And level 3 is the space of emptiness, okay? Serenity, okay? Emptiness. That's why we focus a lot on emptiness of being. Once you can apply the emptiness of being more often, then you will more likely able to access the storehouse of knowledge that have been accumulated and cultivated in countless lifetimes or from a higher power. It opens up your wisdom a lot more once you reach level 3. That's why WIT, Wisdom Level 3, is the name of the organization. Okay. That's it.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate everything.
Alrighty. I am going to go to sleep. You guys
Yes, you can go to sleep.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you Thursday. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.